I mean, and so I'm hoping on Destination. I mean, Destination does favor some early aggression, but you can't really commit to doing anything like super out of control in this map because those thin double bridges are just so easy to defend.
Right, and I think as we've moved through these two games, I think they've kind of gotten it out of their system here. We've seen the two racks, which the little bit of a misstep there by Mondragon ended the game, and now we've seen the six racks. I think we're gonna move into a more standard game. They've got that out of the system. Let's play a real game on Destination now.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we are now getting ready to start Game 3 on Destination between Shaman and Mondragon, who are currently tied 1-1. Hear me spamming away and unable to type 54321. You know, if I'm in Mondragon's position right now, I'm still feeling just a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, oh wait, did we get Intrigue in this game? Is Intrigue here? I think I may have started the game without him. See daisies. Oh, he's there. Fantastic. Alright, I thought that our friendly observer was not in the game. And it's funny that I actually typed it, because if he wasn't in the game, he wouldn't be able to hear it. So, anyways, let's go back to talking about Mondragon, shall we? So if I'm in Mondragon's position, I'm still feeling uncomfortable, because I saw my opponent go for a Marine Rush in Game 1. And then I saw my opponent go for a 6 racks in Game 2 on a macro map. And now I'm on Destination, which is known for being a little bit all over the place, you know, in terms of the strategies you can employ. So, I mean, really, what are you going to see? I mean, you just don't really know as Mondragon. You have to be really on your feet, which, again, in a tournament situation is ultra nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and the thing about here we see the 9 scout, so I think it may have affected Mondragon a little bit, because as I was gonna say, if you're in the point where you think, okay, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, I'll just 9 pool. At this level of play, that's almost not even an option. If you 9 pool and they just
Yeah.
defend, you've thrown away so much economy trying to do that. So drone scout again, we don't see this very much at the highest level because you're just investing that much of your economy to make sure you're not getting cheesed, and if you're not, then it was for naught.
Yes, we do see the barracks getting planted down. Everything looks as standard as can be from Shamanul. You know, I don't even really mind doing a 9 drone scout on a 2-player map no matter what. As long as you make some incredibly extreme decision based upon it, I think you're in good shape. I mean, a lot of players will have their planned, 12 hatch and do everything normally, and it doesn't really matter if their opponent scouts, or excuse me, what their opponent does or not, but they'll still scout early. I don't know if that's so good or not. Right now we do see the SCVs continuing to just try to wail on this drone. Jesus, so many SCVs dedicated to killing that drone. But 2 barracks coming up. Ooh, this is a pretty cute opening.
Yeah, everything I was saying about the economy being hurt by Mondragon sending the drone, well, that was just negated by 4 SCVs to build barracks and repair each other. So, a little bit of interesting dynamic in the early game. And as you were saying, you like to see people make different decisions. Well, as we saw in the first game, 12 hatch 11 pool is a standard. Mondragon scouts, he's not getting cheese, makes that extra drone, 12 hatch 12 pool, and that's just a little bit of an advantage you can get. Oh, the drone's got to get out of there. Does get out safely. And I'm not sure I like 2 barracks on Destination, because these 2 bridges you have to cross to get into the natural to do any sort of pressure. It's not going to happen. As soon as 1 or 2 sunken colonies gets up with Zerglings, it's really difficult.
Well, I wonder if he puts a bunch of pressure on with Marines early. I mean, the creep is going to take a while to expand, and vultures, especially if you go up that bottom bridge right outside Mondragon's front, if you run vultures around the right side, a lot of damage is always done against me that way. And I'm thinking, maybe if you just moved out with your Marines early enough, you could continue to do that same sort of pressure.
Oh, good
Look
God.
at this! Holy Jesus! Look at the number of... Oh my god, look how many SCVs that is. That's just like 12 SCVs. He just like boxed it, clicked, and then just is going for it. Jesus.
Oh, now realizing it's not going to work, he's pulling them all back. I think that's a smart move. It's not going to work, but I don't know what in his mind made him think that was a good idea to do.
I don't know, man. He's the shaman of death. He can do whatever he wants, man. He is the champion of Romania. But one thing I really love about what he did there, so he just did this insane decision, bringing all of these SCVs out, right? Like a big, please, I want to win it right now sort of action. But then he realized it wasn't going to work, so he just pulled back, just confidently, calmly pulled back. A lot of players don't do that. They say, well, I already sent him, so I may as well just keep going. And that is an incredibly dangerous spot to be in. Mondragon, fortunately, doing a good little transition right out of it. That even though Shaman made that good decision, it's still going to be kind of tough for Shaman. Because he doesn't have that expansion up yet, we don't see any gas.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because if we look at when his tech's going to come, when his +1 is going to come, and when his macro from the 3 and 4 barracks are going to come relative to Mondragon's tech, and you know how Shaman would like it, everything's going to come a little bit later for him. So whatever tech Mondragon decides to pick, it's going to be that much harder for him to defend, just because the expansion is a little bit late, and because you know there was 12 SCVs in the middle of the map for a while.
Yeah. You know, it's really interesting to see this sort of play by Shaman, though, because it's so rare to see players opening up with 2 barracks anymore. This is very old school, 2 barracks, early marine pressure, straight into the expansion. But it's really interesting to see, you know, how many marines he's able to get. And we see there's an SCV of Shaman still running around inside Mondragon's base, really keeping an eye on what's up. So no tech yet seen for Shaman, so he's still in the dark, but still not an uncomfortable position to be in as Shaman.
Yeah, we see Mondragon decides to put down the Spire. I think that's a good decision. The Mutalisks are going to be very effective here, and a 3rd barracks going up for Shaman, and the Academy going up. I don't see an engineering bay yet. He's probably going to want to get that pretty soon to get the +1 started on his Marines.
Yeah, and that 3rd barracks coming out. Oh, yeah, there's the engineering bay right next to the little barracks, just cuddling barracks on all sides. I do like the choice to build that bunker there as well. Maybe would prefer it over just 2 spaces, so it's helping to block Ling run-bys a little bit more. But I mean, really, any bunker in this situation, reinforced by all your Marines, is going to be very nice help. Again, in Shaman's position, it's very easy to lose to a big mass Ling run-in, and that's just a very easy way to prevent it. And, you know, it helps if there's any Mutalisk harass coming in the future, too.
Right, and we see Mondragon just moving forward, getting his Overlords ready, the Spire at 500 HP, so those Mutalisks are going to be out pretty soon. Shaman, his timing is a little off because of what happened in the early game, so it might be hard for him to figure out that Spire timing. He doesn't have any add-ons for his command center, so he can't scan to see when they come, so I'm going to be interested to see how good his turret timing is, because, you know, your timing is off. You screwed up a little bit in the early game. Can you figure out when mutas are coming?
I'm still impressed with his ability to, like, spend his money. He hasn't forgotten any depots. I mean, look at him. He's barely ever broached 300. I mean, this is very, very nice timing. But like you said, there's no turrets anywhere yet, and those Mutalisks are already almost done. I mean, hopefully they'll get thrown down in a few seconds here. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm getting a little nervous here because another thing to note, the Academy just finished stim, but there's no range, so this is kind of... there's a timing in 2-hatch mutas where the Marines don't have range, and the mutas are just like laughing as they're picking off Marine after Marine. So we're kind of in that situation now. Looks like Shaman's idea to defend the mutas was to put on pressure. Either that or he wasn't sure when the mutas are coming out. Now we see turrets being thrown down. So Mondragon has a little bit of timing here. Shaman throwing down turrets. If those get up, then I think he's bounced back from this pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very nice follow-through by Shaman. Mondragon already taking his 3rd on the left. Already getting the Evo Chamber and the Hydralisk Den. Looks like he was going to try to run in the front and surround this Medic Marine group. Oh, managing to pick off a few Marines on the bridge. Very nice control there by Mondragon.
Yeah, it looks like Mondragon has no intention of moving in. He's just picking off the army if it tries to come out. Kind of playing the old school style of ZVT where you just use a mutas to maintain map control while you take another base. Now he's going in against a few, takes a lot of hits there. That was probably not the best of ideas. Going and killing a lot of Marines with that spread. Wow. Very nice. And now he's on the bridge. This is a good spot to muta harass, and Shaman knows that, pulling back. I want to take a look at Marine range. Marine range not even half done, so that is not a situation you want to be in.
Yeah, now so many turrets have to be built here as Terran. You have to just waste so much money that you don't want to. But, you know, fortunately, Shaman's locked down pretty tight. So Shaman's feeling still at least a little bit comfortable. And if he can get a push coming anytime soon, he'll still be in relatively good shape. We do see another factory coming down. I think what's most important to note, though, is how Shaman is going to transition out of this. I really like getting a lot of barracks. Look at that Mutila's Harass at the right, just doing so much damage. Like you said, that range still isn't done. It's almost out, but until that time, these Marines and medics are just dropping like flies.
Yeah, very hard situation to be in. Now Marine range finally done. Let's take a look at the +1. +1 just finishes. So Shaman's going to have a little control of his base, but it looks like not too much yet, as these Marines still falling. Mondragon flying around with these Mutalisks. And if we take a look back in Mondragon's base, he's got +1 halfway done. He's got the hive started, and he's got lurkers coming now. So even if this Mutaharass doesn't finish Shaman, which it almost certainly will not, the Defilers are going to be out, and even if he doesn't finish him with Defilers, he's going to have complete map control that's going to let him do whatever he wants, be it expand or put on a lot of pressure.
Yeah, just like so much damage done by those Mutalisks. I mean, he had to rebuild some turrets at the back, but also lost probably like 15 or so medic marine, which is so much. I mean, already we see Mondragon at 76 food, his opponent's at 57 food. I mean, you never want to be that far behind as Terran. But, you know, with Mutalisks Harass that was that good, that's the only huge disadvantage that you have if you open up with that early 2 barracks, is that the range is just so far behind.
Let's take a look at the left here, these 2 lurkers running around the back, and look at this observer cutely placed now moving to the east. So these lurkers back here can burrow and hit those SCVs back there, and the only way you can deal with that is tanks, and the only way you can deal with that is if you have siege, and siege not even half done yet now. And meanwhile, Shaman trying to cross the bridge, lurkers there to stop that, and lurkers working on the SCVs back here. That's so annoying. Now they're actually working on the turrets, but they're going to go to town on the SCVs pretty soon. So this is an annoying situation because you want that vessel out and siege to be able to deal with this.
Yeah, and we do see the +1 carapace upgrade is finished for Mondragon. His hive is now out. Probably getting Defilers any second now, and this is just a wretched situation to be in as the Terran pieces. I mean, because even though you'll probably end up killing off these lurkers without sustaining, you know, horrible damage, all your troops are on the wrong side of the map. You really want to be a lot closer to your opponent. We see that Mondragon's just getting to position his Lurker-Ling army wherever he wants to. +1 armor coming for Terran. I'm trying to find a science facility, but I'm not seeing it. He only just got that starport up. And look at this Lurker contain at the front. Oh god, that's so brutal.
Looks like it's more than a contain. It looks like Mondragon wanted to move in, but there's enough units there. Now backing off, just burrowing. He's probably going to wait for these Defilers. The mound is just about done, finishing right as we speak, and a lot of units being made for Mondragon as he wants to time his attack right when Consume comes, and that's going to be the point when he can get the most damage.
Yeah, and this play that Mondragon's doing, or excuse me, that Shaman's doing right now, where he's getting the dropship before he gets the science vessel, something he always did a lot when I've played with him. He loves opening up with any sort of early pressure like that. We do see these Marines along the left side trying to move into that left expansion, but it's not going to happen. Too many lurkers in Link's position there, and Shaman might be able to do a little bit of damage to this Lurker-Ling army, but no, never mind. Forget anything I said. Look at that. Mondragon just surrounds it beautifully and crushes it.
Yeah, what a big flank there, as he came right when he was going up the ramp. And looking back in the main of Mondragon, he's got 2 evolution chambers working, making a lot of drones now. Consume at about 90%, and I like this Greater Spire actually, because there comes a point where you know, they expect Defilers. So if that doesn't work and he transitions into Guardians and works on the back door, that's going to be really uncomfortable and really hard for Shaman to deal with.
Yeah, Guardians are also really helpful on this map to push the front, because those double bridges, it obviously makes it impossible to hit the Guardians if you're just pushing straight across. And a lot of times the biggest issue with opening up with Defilers is actually getting across that double bridge, and the Guardians just speed that process up by so much.
Yeah, and only 1 starport, second starport coming now, and Irradiate just finishing, but he's probably only going to have 1 Irradiate, and he's probably going to use it on these Defilers now. Shaman trying to push before Consume finishes, but that's not going to happen. Swarm's going down. This little rogue group of about 10 Marine and Medic is going to get shut down pretty easily. Nice. Oh, so many units dying. Oh my god. So many Marines and Medics dying to Swarm Lurkers there. Good lord.
Oh, Jesus. That's one of those control misclicks that you just, oh man. You just never want to happen, especially not now. And Mondragon built up quite an excess of money and is now just expanding relentlessly across the map. Look at this huge Lurker Defiler push right at the front. Ling's just swarming in. Those tanks have to unsiege, but 2 are going to fall before they can even get out in time. Just relentless aggression by Mondragon.
And we see Shaman trying to push in the top left, and you know, doing as much damage as could be expected, but reinforcements just cleaning that up very easily. And looks like Mondragon wanted to use these Guardians to defend the 3 o'clock. He's just around the main now, or around the ramp, excuse me, and going for the main of Shaman. Shaman, you know, not enough irradiates to deal with these Guardians. And this is just going to be really, really annoying as his front door is getting hammered on. Now he's got 4 Guardians coming in his back door.
Yeah, and if you click on his barracks, you'll note that he's making quite a lot of fire bats out of these, so doesn't even really have very much anti-air to boot. I mean, look, he has like 10 fire bats at his front door trying to deal with all these swarms, lings, and lurkers. It's sort of like an emergency backup plan, but these Guardians are just a final blow that really makes you go, oh god, I don't know if I can deal with this. And then here comes even more lurkerling in the front. Shaman just sees him and then immediately leaves.
Yeah, so a very nice game there from Mondragon, and this is kind of a lesson for people who are new to the game. You know, why don't people do these early attacks? It looks so good. Well, it's because if they don't work, then you're so screwed in the mid game, you're never going to get out of your ramp. So people these days are focusing on either doing these timed attacks where they're going to be very strong, or focus on your economy. But when we saw Shaman do, I mean, it was correct that he pulled back when he realized it wasn't going to work, but we can also
Uh-huh.
see the end result of something like that.